While Cleef Arpels was not alone among the top jewelry firms in seeking out exotic motifs in the 1920s, its global clientele has made exoticism a continued feature of its design aesthetic. An incredibly diverse array of sources of inspiration, from research done by the Arpels family on the travels to the commissions of potential clientele across the globe, has the create of some of its most distinctive motifs. Our Cartier discovery of King Tutankhamun tomb in 1922 almost immediately had a dynamic effect on the decorative arts and jewelry. Thanks to Napoleon's campaign in Egypt and his interest in portraying himself as the equal of ancient civilization, the Egyptian revival form and motifs had flourished in early 19th century in France, more than anywhere else in Europe. King Tut tomb decorations became instant success for French-based designers. Cleef Arpels worked with motifs on bracelets, brooches, and pendants, with design rendered with the precision of fine mosaic or portrait miniatures. Even handbags were not immune. In Van Cleef & Arpels' Egyptian revival work represented some of the best and most meticulous French work produced in 1920s. Created around 1950, this box of a peacock spreading its wings may have also had its roots in the Egyptian archaeological find. Although the Persians' love of the peacock motif may have been a play in this situation. In fact, the revival was considered almost French, as the evidence of article of French jewelry from the French Exposition of Arts, Commerce and Industry at the Grand Central Palace in New York in 1924, at which Van Cleef & Arpels exhibited. A masterpiece of French marketing to Americans before the 1925 Art Deco show in Paris. The exhibition and its publication were aimed to share exotic interest in French jewelry. The article, entitled Jewelry and the Orient, extolled Egyptian jewelry of the 20th dynasty, 1800 BC, and noted that Parisian designers were quick to react to this revival of interest in things Egyptian. The results containing the obvious elements of that art with none of the dignified beauty of its best period, although it did illustrate some of the pieces in the exhibition. The article went on to claim that British and American jewelry was not influenced by the various Oriental influences, but French jewelry, the more closely the inspiration springs from the original and follows the handsome, as a result, design and workmanship. Just when the orders appear to be condoning lavish copying, they continued. But in none of these excursions into Oriental designs are the French jewelers as happy as in those forms which are born on the true art genius of their own country. For the French have a tradition of their own, not alone in the fine arts, but in the crafts from which they can draw treasures and to which they can add with each succeeding generation new glories. The Egyptian pieces seem to present a mixture of Egyptian sources. Van Cleef & Arpels' interpretive designs for gems and the top-level execution to Paris markets illustrative of the exotic styles influenced by potential Maharajas of Baroda pendant necklace, based on Indian necklaces that have existed for many centuries but transformed into a necklace that looks European. In an ironic twist, the Maharani of Baroda wanted a necklace influenced on Van Cleef Arpels jewels, the use of traditional Slavic motifs and colors, along with elements from the more remote reaches of the Russian Empire, merged the fine and decorative art with vibrancy. As the Ballet Russe became a sensation in Paris and Monte Carlo, their popularity led to a greater demand for color by many of Van Cleef & Arpels' clients. Both before and after the Russian Revolution, the corps, the ballet, and surrounding artists brought with them bright colors and talents, which were often adapted for new artistic endeavors. Well before the revolution, the primary color associated with Russia was red. The archaic meaning of krasny, meaning red, is beautiful. The historical desirability of rubies, the Russian enthusiasm for red, and the association of red with passion and strength may well have combined to move rubies back into the forefront of haute jewelry design of the roaring 1920s. Chinese culture and design also revere red. The 1920s and 30s were a period of resurgent interest in China and a lesser extent of Japan. Whereas inspired by Japan and enjoyed great popularity at the 1878 Paris Exposition Universelle, but languished in 1910. Wealthy travelers visited China in larger numbers starting in the 1890s, and world fairs prominently displayed Asian wares. Interest in the Far East was rekindled during the 1920s and 30s, which significantly influenced the choice of color motifs and material in the decorative and arts and jewelry. However, various works in the Japanese style popular at the 1878 World War Fair referenced objects, linear metalwork engraving of Cleef Arpels Pendant Plaque of 1924 featured a pierced composition, almost a painting, with both the Japanese landscape palette and composition of high voltage color of precious stones. Black enameled like Japanese silk black, daisy evening black Paris, black lacquer, yellow gold silver. The works of lacquer and enamel of French designer John Donat represented several categories at the famed 1925 Paris Exposition Internationale the art decoratives and industries modernes were often in the iron, red, and black palette inspired by Asian examples. When Cleef Arpels responded to the same inspiration with a mixture of Chinese decorative objects in enamel, such as necessary, and the use of the coral, onyx, and enamel to create the red and black effects, starting before 1925. The colors of pair of coral and black earrings and bracelet from 1922 and 1923 reflect the significant interest in Chinese decoration at the source, even though the styles of the objects is more Western than in Chinese tradition. Even the pocket watch of 1927 was decorated with the Chinese magician. Japan also added its imprint on Van Cleef & Arpels repertoire. Coral, onyx, jade, and turquoise, sometimes sculptured along with engraved stones and natural pearls, much associated with jewelry from other cultures, dating back to antiquity, were worked into objects in the Western taste and a combination of foreign and Western craftsmanship. Likewise, the black and gilt with red enamel chatelaine watch incorporated the style of Chinese lacquer decoration into an object that suited Western fashion taste. A watch that could hang face in and decorate a dress as a pendant brooch was not an Asian concept. Also Western in its function is a table clock ordered up for the Duchess of Windsor in 1938, which when closed looks like a miniature Chinese lacquer cabinet and has a jade the allure of China extended to the American market. A vanity case in blue enamel with a carved jade plate and diamond clasp opened and revealed a lipstick holder, 2 compartments, and a mirror, and engraved Mrs. Morse in Chicago. Another mixed culture concept was the use of an actual 18th century Chinese perfume bottle set on a Cleef & Arpels stand with a revolving clock. Singer Josephine Baker's not only in the supposed exoticism of her skin color, but also in the new jazz singing style from New Orleans, contributing to the allure the Western Hemisphere. The New World provided most clients than inspiration for jewelry design, but the 1920s witnessed a budding interest in Mayan and pyramids popularized by archaeological exploits covered in the world newspapers. Pyramids with their stark geometries are key forms to both Egyptian and Mayan cultures and readily appeared to the anti-art noir movement. The pair of earrings illustrated could have referred to either culture, but it also an avant-garde Art Deco design. Although Van Cleef & Arpels did not exhibit in the first Exposition Coloniale held in Marseille in 1922, they did exhibit in the Paris exhibition in 1931. An idealized portrait of countries that are still part of the colonial empires, the exhibition showed native handcrafts from places such as the Côte d'Ivoire and French objects, ostensibly inspired by these cultures or using their raw materials. André Moreau's accounts from the exhibition entitled Sir described some of the architecture and crafts with crayon sketches that in Chinese